understood that having a meaningful, challenging conversation is less about knowing what to say and more about understanding the situation. You learned how rephrasing the situation puts you in an empowered state rather than treating it as a threat. So, effectively, what you are beginning to do is managing your emotions around the conversation. Further mastery in handling difficult conversations will come as you learn to manage your emotions. So now go deeper and think about your emotional state around the conversations you have been reflecting upon through this course. And this way, you better understand your typical emotional responses. So, what did you do when you knew that conversation is required or it is about to happen? Did the other person initiate it? And was there any avoidance, reluctance, shyness, or fear around it within you? If you started it, then what were your emotions around that? Were you aggressive, offensive, assertive, polite? When the conversation started, were you fully expressive or did you freeze and were not able to speak much? Were you defensive or offensive? How did you feel after the conversation? Were you drained of energy or energized? Do a complete audit of the emotions that you experienced before, during, and after the conversation. Which emotions are the most difficult for you to manage? Remember, the word is manage. The idea is not controlling, suppressing, or hiding emotions. We need to channel them appropriately. How can you begin to start managing your emotions? The most fundamental thing to do is to let go of the notion that some emotions are negative and some positive. Negative emotions such as anger are to be suppressed or avoided because they're bad, or at least they are to be controlled or suppressed. Imagine if someone wronged you and that makes you angry. Instead of letting them know that you are angry, you suppressed your anger because you think it's a negative emotion. So now that person does not know that they have offended you because you did not tell it to them. You have not given them a chance to correct themselves. Therefore, they are likely to repeat the behavior. What you needed to do is to express your anger, but in the form of an effective conversation. Any emotion that you do not accept wholeheartedly is going to make you uneasy every time it comes up. And that emotion is going to make the conversation difficult. You may also find that suppressed emotions are popping up randomly. People often assume that the way to have a difficult conversation is to keep aside the emotions. In reality, suppressed emotions have the opposite effect. In summary, you need to identify your emotions around difficult conversations, accept them as they are, and express them appropriately with the concerned person. The more you do it, the easier your subsequent conversations will become. For now, please continue reflecting on the past conversations and to the best of your memory, recall the emotions you went through during that conversation. And I will see you in the next video.